What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Tembrews here, back with another tutorial. If you're new to my channel, I make a lot of music. I come out with new music every week, rap beats, EDM, house songs. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And today I'm going to show you 5 easy ways that you can flip a loop or a sample. So let's get into it here. I have an empty Logic project file. And I just threw a loop in here from Looperman. Shout out Looperman. It's a website you can find free loops at. Very high quality loops. So I have a guitar loop here. It's like a Kid Laroi / Juice WRLD type loop. So I'm just going to play the clean loop for you here. Here we go. So yeah, I like the loop a lot. It's a high quality loop. Shout out Looperman. There's a lot of high quality samples on there. So the first way is to play with the pitch, change the pitch of the loop. That's a pretty simple way that you can just change it from the original and make it sound different. So I'm just going to go into the Logic pitch shifter. That's what I use for pitch shifting. I know there's probably better plugins you can use for that. Let me know if you know of any good pitch shifting plugins. But for me, I think the Logic one just gets the job done. So I have that up here and it is on the loop. So I'm going to put the mix up to 100%. It has these 3 presets: drums, speech, vocals. Obviously this guitar has none of those, but I'm just going to leave it on the vocals. And it's up 7 semitones right now, so let's hear it pitched quite a bit higher. So that's kind of significant, but I think that sounds kind of cool actually. You just want to make sure it's in key with the rest of your song, I mean. Let me turn my phone off. Sorry about that. Less drastic here would be just going up a few. Even 1 semitone, it sounds different and still sounds good. 3, and you can go down, of course. I honestly think that sounds pretty sick too. So that's number 1. That's super simple. You just change the pitch of the loop. Now, a second way that you can change a loop or a sample is by reversing it. And this is something I've been doing a lot lately in my beats. And it really changes it more drastically than a pitch can. And usually always sounds sick in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead, double click it here, go to File, Functions, and then Reverse. I believe you can do this in any DAW, so I'm using Logic, but you can do all of this in any DAW. So here's the loop reversed. So I think that sounds dope. A lot of producers do that as well. Like I know a lot of Travis Scott beats, he uses reverse sounds. Juice WRLD as well, RIP Juice. So that's something I've been doing a lot lately. Probably my favorite lately of the 5 I'm going to show you here. So that's number 2. Number 3, let me just go ahead and unreverse this. Go to Edit, Undo, Reverse. And it's back to normal. Number 3 is just by adding different effects plugins. So I'll show you a few here. First I'm going to show you is FabFilter Saturn. They have some cool effects presets. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to FX and just show you some of these different presets on the loop. So that's like adding a lot of distortion, making it harder. So that's pretty cool. I'm just going to flip through them here for you. Oh, hit the wrong button here. I'm going to go to hit this arrow. That's sick. It gives it like a glitchy effect. That sounds dope as well, in my opinion. So yeah, FabFilter Saturn, that's a great plugin. Shout out FabFilter. Another one of my favorite effects plugins would be Effectrix by the company Sugar Bytes. And that has all of these effects here that you can play with, put it on the loop. So let me play with the loop here. Oh, you want to go to trigger MIDI off and go to 1/16 tempo. See, that's pretty cool, I think. So that's a loop, and there's, you know, there's a bunch of different ones you can do here. You can do stretch. It's a little drastic. Stretch. Then we have vinyl. Go to stop mode. That's cool in my opinion. You can do a lot of different things with that. There's a stutter effect. There is a phaser. That gives it a nice effect in my opinion. And there's a bunch of others here, but yeah, Effectrix, that can change a loop and make it your own. Those would be the main ones I use for effects. But you can, there's a bunch of stuff you can play with. You can put a flanger on it. That gives it a nice different sound, I think. There's some factory presets. That's really cool. Let's see what else here. You know, you can put delay on it, distortion. There's a built-in phaser. You can put some chorus on it. That sounds pretty cool, I think. So yeah, just playing with different effects plugins, that is a surefire way to make a loop or sample your own. And number 4 here would be to use sidechain. So sidechain, basically, if you put it on something, it's going to duck the sound. So right here, it's set to 1/4, so it's going to duck the sound every 4th beat. All my EDM lovers, you know, sidechain is a staple in EDM because, you know, in your drop, you're always sidechaining everything to the kick usually. But I use it in rap beats as well, and it's a good way to just change the rhythm of your beat or the sound that you have it on. So just a classic sidechain every 4th beat. I'll show you what that sounds like on it. See, it's kind of ducking every 4th beat. Just gives it more rhythm. And you can change it here to 1/8 beat, so it's more drastic. See, kind of gives it that rhythm. You can go even slower to 1/2 note. That sounds good, I think. And the sidechain plugin I use is Kickstart by Nicky Romero. Shout out Nicky Romero, one of my favorite DJs. This one's just really easy to use. I love it, especially when I'm making house music. There's all these built-in presets. So you can do a sub-bass chain, which is even tighter. There's a reverse chain, which sounds definitely different. hard style. There's this one that's just called Weird Rhythm. Reverse long chain. You can do a tight side chain. So yeah, I know for those of you who use FL, I believe Grossbeat is the sidechain plugin with FL. So that would be what you would use to sidechain things. You can also do it the old-fashioned way, which is to just use a compressor and you link the compressor to whatever you want to sidechain the instrument to. I haven't done that in so long, since before I had this plugin. I'll show you how I think you can do it, but this may be wrong just because I honestly just use Kickstart now. It's just way more convenient. But from what I think, you'll just open up a Logic compressor and see it says sidechain here. And then I don't have any other instruments in here, but you would sidechain it to another sound, and then it will duck every time that other sound hits. So you would link it there. It will show you that it's linked up there. You'll go to sidechain, and there's some different settings you can play with. You can play with how tight this and how fast the sidechain is by adjusting the attack, ratio, threshold, and release, and the knee. But yeah, I really never do that anymore. And there's other sidechain plugins as well. There's third-party ones. I'm sure you can do it in Ableton. I'm not sure if there's a built-in one for Ableton, but I'm not sure. But there's definitely different options to do that. So yeah, sidechaining is something I do quite a bit, more so in house music, but it's definitely a way to change up the beat. So you don't have to, you could just have the loop playing normal for 8 bars, and then the next 8 bars you could turn the sidechain on, and that kind of gives it that kind of changes it up. So that would be number 4. Number 5 easy way to flip a loop or a sample would just be to chop it up. So, and there's 2 ways to do this. I'm going to show you both. And for this one, I'm actually going to throw a vocal in here because that's mainly what I would chop up. You can chop up any type of loop. I could do this guitar loop, but just to show you how it works best, in my opinion, I'm just going to throw a random vocal in here. So I'm going to open up Splice. Let's see what we can find here. Those are pitched vocals. I'm caught in I can take your pain away. I like that one. Shout out Kara. She has a lot of good packs on Splice. All over songs in the dance world. I can take you. So the first way to chop it up, you can just do it manually. So pull up your scissors tool and just make your own cuts. So I'll do a few really quick. Just the easiest way I find to do it is just chop each half bar, or you could do even a quarter bar. I'll do half though. So I'm just going to make half bar chops here. And this is what I do a lot when I'm making vocal chops for EDM. And then I just move them around in different order. So let's see what we can find. I'll have that one first. I think it sounds kind of cool. I don't know if I like that one second. Let's try this one. Make another chop here. Not liking those second. I can take you. You can loop it, so I'll have this one playing twice. See how that sounds? That doesn't sound the greatest. Sometimes it takes some time to come up with a good loop of chops. But for the sake of this example, that's how I would go about doing it. I would just chop it up a bunch and try different orders until I think it sounds catchy. And then you can play with the pitch as well to add on to that. But so that would be the first way, and then I'm going to show you a second way you can make vocal chops. In this way, it chops it up for you, so you don't have to cut with the scissors. You don't have to make your own chops. And I think you can do this in any DAW as well now, but in Logic, what you do, you hit this flex icon up here, then you're going to hit that same button on the vocal track, and then you just select it, right click, hit slice at transient markers, and see it chopped it up for you. And then what you do from there, you select them all, right click, you're going to go to convert to new sampler track. And this is in A minor, this vocal, so you want to set the key here where it says trigger note range. So I'm going to go to A0 and hit OK. And what it did, it made a sampler track with these vocal chops. So now each key is going to be a vocal chop. So let me turn this off. Let me mute this. And I'm just going to delete these. I'm going to bring up my typing keyboard here. So I'm going to hit Command K. See, each key is a chop now, and you can just try to come up with something that sounds catchy, like a loop, and you can either hit record and play it on your keyboard, or you can just draw the notes in, which is what I do. I'll pull up the keyboard to try to get a starting point, and then I'll just draw it in. That's just what I prefer. But you can record a loop. You can go down an octave. There's more. Depending on how long the vocal is, you'll have more or less chops. Let me see. Let me just play around for a second so you can hear. Some of these are too short. I often find that's a problem, so I look for the longer ones. Like that. There's not much you can do with that. I like that one. That one's good, so I look for the longer ones. So yeah, those ones are good. I could definitely come up with something with that. So yeah, you can either chop it up manually or convert it to a sampler track and it chops it for you. And that would be two ways that you can chop up a loop or a sample. Alright guys, so yeah, this was just meant to be a quick short video. I know a lot of these are simple. A lot of my producers out there already know these tricks. Please comment if you know of any other good ways to flip a sample or a loop. Because especially when you're using loops, I don't always use them. I use them sometimes, but you want to do things to make it your own and make it stand out, because chances are if you're using this loop, there could be other people out there using the same loop. And even if that's not the case, a lot of times as producers we want to put our own touch on things. So those would be 5 easy ways. I'll just to recap here. Number 1, play with the pitch of the loop. Number 2 would be to reverse the loop or the sample. Number 3 would be to just play with different effects plugins and put different effects on it till it sounds good. Number 4 would be to sidechain. And number 5 would be to chop up the loop or the sample. So those are 5 easy ways that you can flip a loop or sample and make it your own. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, if you're feeling generous, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I plan to do at least one tutorial a week, and as I said before, I'm always putting out new music. So yeah, and comment down below if you have any other ways to flip samples and loops.